Hello, friends. This is Chris Duncan, the director of the Texas School of Professional Photography, and I'm joined by one of our favorites, longtime favorites, Bob Coates, who is doing better than ever. If you don't know, Bob had some heart procedures earlier this year.
Yeah, they
Uh,
call that open heart surgery, where they crack everything open and then they go in and bunch of stuff around and then put it back together.
yeah, wow. Well, I know that you were scheduled to come to Texas School in April, and obviously you weren't able to make it due to that. But you look great. You sound great. I hear you're doing fantastically well. So, congratulations. We're glad to see you on the other side of that, even better than before.
Me too.
So any of y'all that have been supporting Bob and your thoughts and prayers, I know he appreciates it, and we appreciate it on his behalf. He's poured a lot into Texas School, and so we have a treat for you today. Some of you may I hope you know this. If you don't, it's news to you. But America is going to be 250 years old in just a few days. And I'll bet every community you're in, whoever's watching or listening to this, your communities might have something special planned for the 250th anniversary of our great country. And fireworks are always a part of that. And as photographers, we might want to be capturing fireworks and photographing the festivities. And Bob, you might know, is no stranger to night skies, whether it's Milky Ways or star trails or anything that goes boom in the night. Bob is your guy. So I've asked Bob here just for a few minutes to kind of give us some pointers and tips to make your 4th of July and Independence Day fireworks, your shoot, the best it can be, from capture and how to maybe make it even more spectacular through some post-production. So Bob, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Independence Day.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to. I don't think I'm going to get out to shoot yet. I still can't carry a whole bunch of stuff. Can't put my backpack on and trudge up the hill.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to help people get theirs together. And I've got a few cool ideas and a few things that you might not think about when you're first setting up and first start shooting fireworks. Because I'm going to show you some of my first shootings of fireworks. Well, actually, no. Well, after we get going, do I have a full screen here? Uh,
Um,
so I did shoot fireworks when I was down in the Virgin Islands,
okay. Yeah,
and
I
that's a
see that.
cover of a book called Pro Lighting Series, and they would get people and they would see images and say, "Oh, we'd really like some information on that," and then that ends up inside there. So that'll give you my first set of settings for you.
Fantastic.
So the first set of settings that came out of there was this was the cover. This was also the cover of the VI Business Journal. And that's then they saw it online somewhere and said, "Hey, well, can you do something for us and let us put it in the book?" Basically, this was Fuji Velvia 50. So it was really slow shutters, but this is back in the film days where
Yes.
where you didn't
Yeah.
get to see what you were doing. You
That
were
was the
like,
first
okay,
Independence. Yeah, you did
I
that the
hope
first Independence Day.
I hope I am doing this right. Um, and that was 3.5 seconds at a 40 millimeter lens. And I think that was f8.
Okay.
So f8. So that's a really low ISO. And you want to have low ISO and pretty small apertures. You might hear like ISO 100 at f8. I highly recommend you go further up the scale there, and at least f11, maybe even f14 or 16, because fireworks are really bright, and you've got the black sky, and you can really end up with some stuff there. Let me show you a really cool little setup that I did, because I started getting more fancy a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Desktop to share. Okay. So if you look here, this looks pretty busy. Basically, I set it up so that I could fire 3 cameras at a time. So because you only get one shot at it, and it's like 20 to 40 minutes worth of fireworks, and then you're done. And
You have
next
to
year,
wait
well,
till next
geez, I
year.
got to wait until next year to try this again.
Yeah.
So when I first started this out, I started shooting with multiple cameras and multiple different settings so that I could really push it. And where I found the sweet spot to be, it seems to be your camera, um, your native ISO for your camera. So for the full frame cameras, that's 200. You might even want to kick that down to 100 for the micro four thirds. I'm sorry, for the full frame cameras, that's what ISO 100. For micro four thirds, it's ISO 200. I've kicked mine down to ISO 100. You might even want to go to 50 if you're on a full frame camera. And again, the really small aperture. And the reason we do that is so that we don't blow things out. Fireworks are really bright.
Yeah. So, Bob, I have a question if I can just kind of interject. So,
oh, absolutely.
common, I guess, teaching in photography is like if it's darker, you need higher ISOs for less light. You're telling us to go to like 50 ISO. So, is that just because of the brightness of the fireworks?
Yeah, you're not photographing the sky. If you were to open up that aperture or go to really high ISOs, you're going to not have a black dark sky behind it. And what you're photographing is the bright lights that are in there. So you've got to set your aperture for that, not for your ISO for that, not for this is a different world here. Okay, so I'll just show you here. This is some of our cameras, at least in the micro four thirds world, and I'm sure some of the other cameras have the ability to use your phone to be able to view what's on there and fire your frame. Oh, that's great. You don't need a remote. If you don't have something, if your phone can't run your camera or your iPad can't run it, then go ahead and get a trigger, or at the very least have a little delay on your shutter, because you want that to be nice and steady. Because if you jiggle the camera, the fireworks just look like doo doo. they get all scratchy, and sometimes that can be really arty but not fun. So in this case here, I was just testing in my studio. So I had a couple of iPads and an iPhone, and each one of these is hooked up. So once I was out, then I had this little table that I could kind of just rest on one of the tripods. What I eventually ended up doing was mounting all three cameras on a single tripod. And then so they were, onto the legs, on the sides, and then on the top. So did that with some platypod, arms, and,
Wow.
different ways of doing that. It really, really is quite helpful. So when you have this kind of a setup, you can watch the fireworks going up, and then you can fire it when you're ready. And then that 3.5 or 3 to 5 seconds, I'm finding 5 seconds to be pretty much the primo spot.
Mm-hmm.
And that 5 seconds allows you to capture some multiple bursts. Now, one of the things you do is there's a tendency to like, oh, there's one. Oops. If you see it, it's already too late. It's just like shooting lightning. So the advantage that you have when you're, as opposed to when you're shooting lightning, is there tends to be a little trailer going up, and you see these little lines, and as it goes up, and then you start to learn better and better each year. First year is always a little bit tough, but you get better and better at going, okay, that's ready. Now I need to fire it. So then it goes poof, poof, poof. And then you catch multiple bursts versus the individual bursts. So let's go look at my first year out there, and you kind of see, oh, there you go. So I'm talking about, this is when it was beginning, before I got a little bit better at it. Oh yeah, that's a lovely burst, isn't it? But you get the idea. So this is the kind of trail that I'm talking about. You'll see these little streamers run up. Mm-hmm. You also know, focus. Don't forget to put it on manual focus, and focus before everything starts. So you're going to focus way off in the distance. Even if you just use your infinity scale, you're going to be fine there. Get up into the infinity neighborhood at the very least. If there's like a mountaintop in the distance, you can use that as your focus point. But you get the idea. We're just kind of looking at, and we're going, oh, geez, we didn't have our camera in the right place, did we? Oh, wait, I did have my camera in the right place. Yeah. Oh, if you shoot too tight, but you want to fill the frame, but if you shoot too tight, you end up with, not, things that are cut off and not working so well. So this gives you an idea. This was, again, my first. So here's one where I did get, a fairly good set of bursts, but that's because they put them all up and, in the same time. I think I was shooting at 3 seconds back in this time.
So
So
you
let's
mentioned
go.
earlier that your first one you read through your book and you were at a 40
Oh,
millimeter.
this was a really long time ago,
But
and I was up way up on a hill, and this was this setup. The fireworks were out in the middle of the harbor, so they were really far away. So, but yeah, 40 millimeter was, even at that, you can see here's
yeah,
the lights of the coast right there, and then this was, a huge burst that I was able to get. These are some clouds, or the smoke from them will tend
right.
to, give you some color in there.
So
Um, you
so you
hopefully there's a little bit of wind, but not too much, because a little wind will move the smoke off of your stuff, but the other won't. So this
and
is
don't be downwind or it blows right into you, right?
yeah. This is where I got a little bit better at seeing what was going on. This is a little bit, maybe the third time or fourth time here in Sedona. Oh, missed that one. But then I readjusted. So you need to, again, put your camera in position and make sure you're ready for it. So you can see the difference. This is 5 seconds. We're capturing lots of different stuff going on. Like, I really like that one. So you can, but even if you have the ones like I had before. Oh, let me talk about one more thing before we move to the little processing. We got, all kinds of stuff going on there. We have some pretty good fireworks here,
Well,
and
that's
it's over in
great.
the
I
next
think it's
town
good.
over called Cottonwood. One thing, so you get the idea, you've got your settings. If you're just doing the fireworks in the sky itself, it's kind of like shooting the Milky Way all by itself
Hmm.
without having a sense of place in there. So I tend to do that more, which brings me to another thought that I was going to bring up, is that you can put people in front of you. So you have your camera really low and you can have silhouettes of people and maybe the people that are in the fairground. Now, I haven't been down in there. I'm usually try and find a higher eye point personally. But if I was in amongst the people, I would set one camera down a little bit further and allow different silhouettes and whatever's going on in front with maybe some, whatever lights are going off, um, to give it, again, some more depth, dimension, and interest.
Yeah.
Because fireworks, oh, yes, that's a pretty fireworks shot, Bob. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go look at what you can do. Let's say you weren't able to capture a lot of multiple bursts because you were 3 seconds, or your people didn't fire a whole bunch of fireworks at the same time. You can use Photoshop to blend things together. So what we do there is we use the screen mode. And because we're using screen mode, we're able to allow only the highlights and, of course, the color and stuff to come in, and you can layer those in, and you can create, an unbelievable
Yeah.
setup. So anyway, that's nice to be able to do that. Now, would I do this much? Nah, probably not. But just gives you the idea. And then you're going to use masks, because what I did was I moved things around. If you look over here, this is what a mask looks like. If you hit the Option key and touch mask, this is what's taken out of that particular image. And if you want to not see that anymore, then you just Option click back in there to the same thing. So you get the idea of what was changed. And also, these were rotated. Let's just look at this single image here. So you get the idea. So we're grabbing just pieces of it
Yeah. Oh, that's
to
cool. Yeah.
make it go. And then one last little thing here is, there was another a casino not too far away that was doing a fireworks thing, and I put together a little setup for them, and it was just using I blended these together, And then I took a photograph of their building, which was behind me as opposed to in front where the fireworks were, but then layered the fireworks over top of there. Then I
That's
took
cool.
that over to the casino and said, "Hey guys, would you be interested in something like this and helping to market your fireworks for each year?" They said no, but the idea is that you can give it a shot and see what you can do with that kind of stuff. So, unless you have any questions, Chris, I think that's
Well,
pretty much a good primer on photographing them fireworks.
yeah, that's great. That was about the length of a fireworks show, so that was that was perfect. So just in case,
One more thing.
yeah, go ahead.
We all have camera straps on there. Um, I use Peak Design camera straps so that I can pop the straps off because if it's windy, again, you've got windage, just like shooting the night sky and shooting
Mhm.
stars. You don't want to have any extra windage there. And what do you do with a strap if, oh, you got to wrap it around and tie it down or tape it or whatever so it doesn't blow in case it's a busy night?
Yeah, I love little tips like that, Bob. It's just like, oh, your strap could catch wind and move the and move the camera. It's something you might not think about until it's probably happened to you, and that's that's when you realize you should
You think?
take your strap
when
off.
when
So
all my fireworks shots look like this.
yes, yeah. So just in case we have a few, people might be new to Photoshop and using it. When you showed your mask, what was white is what they see, and what's black is what you don't see. Is that correct? Am I
White reveals, black conceals. So that's a good way to kind of put a little mnemonic in your head there.
Yeah, yeah. And I know personally when I first was getting into blend modes, darken and light and screen always seemed to confuse me because you're thinking, well, the sky's dark, let's get rid of it, but it's actually the opposite. It's what you want to keep, not what you want to get rid of, right? So screen mode
Yeah,
or lighten keeps bright things.
correct. Yeah, screen basically really just allows anything that's brighter than whatever the algorithm says,
Hmm.
and it will allow that to show through and just be really clean and just make all your backgrounds disappear. So if you ever want to put a candle, a lit candle on a candle that's not lit in your scene,
Uh-huh.
you would photograph the candle against a black background, take it out, maneuver it so it's there, put it into screen, the whole black disappears and the candle is lit.
Yeah, yeah. I've all.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I was always opposite on those, and I was like, I can't figure this out. But so I have one final question. So when you start, do you like to photograph the night sky like before anything go off, so you have like a blank canvas, so then you can kind of put stuff, or do you start with one burst and build around that compositionally?
Basically, I try and make sure that I know where it's going to go up. When most fireworks start, they will send up one little thing just before because they're going to test the wind
Hmm.
and they're going to see where their stuff is going to go. If the wind is blowing too much, they may go, "Ooh, we need to adjust where we're going to go." So they'll usually send up one little pre-burst, and that's you need to make sure that that's like in your frame real well, and then just go to work on it.
That's great. So when you start building them in Photoshop, what is your base image? Just a black sky?
No, I'll usually take my favorite burst, my favorite line, because it gives you a line coming up, and you've got your first burst, and then I'll go through my collection and go, "Oh, yeah, that would look really cool, and that would look nice." Again, you don't want to get too crazy about it
Right.
because it's way out of reality, and then everybody's going to scream, "What? AI? That's AI!"
Bob, thank you so much for your time today. We're glad to see that you're healing and doing well, and we appreciate the time you gave us about your expertise in fireworks. And we hope everyone that watched or listened to this that you're able to take some of these tips and photograph some amazing fireworks displays in your community as we all celebrate our country's 250th birthday. And if you like Bob, you want some more Bob teaching, I know he's got a lot on his own. You've got your own website, Bob.
Successful-photographer.com. That's successful-photographer.com. And it's great to be back in the saddle.
Yes, well, we're glad to have you, and I know you've got some stuff on PPA EDU. And if you're interested in Bob's teaching and more he might offer, you might want to stay tuned to our instructor reveal we're going to have for Texas School September 3rd at 7 p.m. Central Time this year, and we'll be announcing our instructor lineup for our 2027 Texas School instructors. Again, Bob, thank you so much for your time today, and hope you have a happy and safe Independence Day.
Back at you.